Come down to the sea in Washington State, where the cool, clean waters of the Pacific, tempered by the warming influence of the Japanese current, wash the sands of the Long Beach Peninsula. The Long Beach Peninsula Resort Association presents Come Down to the Sea. From the northern tip of the Long Beach Peninsula, where it juts out into Willapa Bay, south 28 miles to the modern harbor at Ilwaco, the extreme southwestern tip of the state of Washington is a recreation paradise. The hard-packed sands of the Pacific Ocean beach invites the lover of nature, the amateur cameraman looking for scenic views, the surf fisherman, the clam digger, the swimmer, the beachcomber, the casual visitor, and the tourist. All come under the spell of this beautiful example of nature's bounty. Depending on the weather and the cloud cover, the waters of the Pacific, where they rush up onto the rocks at the southern end of the peninsula, change from gray to green to blue. The everlasting surge of powerful waves, so gentle under calm conditions, and so powerful and threatening in a winter storm, foam against rocks from which fishermen cast their lures. At the north entrance to the Columbia River, North Head Lighthouse, one of two, stands in constant vigil for seafarers. Driftwood comes ashore along the beach and piles up in huge windrows on Peacock Spit above the North Jetty. But the beach is for people. During the season, clam diggers, hundreds and even thousands of them. They come from all over the Northwest, from Oregon and Washington, to dig from their sandy homes the wonderful razor clams. They dig with clam guns, with patented clam diggers, with garden shovels, even with their hands. And they work hard sometimes for their clams, but it's the kind of labor that people who love the outdoors search for. The clean air, the fresh ocean breeze, and the roar of the surf are payment enough for any discomfort suffered. Not to mention the succulent good eating of the clams themselves, whether ground up in chowder or soup or fried to a golden brown. Clam diggers come in all sizes. Not all clam diggers are experts. Perhaps the cameraman and the gallery upset this one, but he'll try again until he comes up with his limit of Pacific Ocean razor clams. Perhaps a platter full of them, like this. This pretty girl looks happy, but then why not, with visions of good eating ahead, represented by this bounty from the Long Beach Peninsula. During the season of good clam tides, cars stream onto the beach from all of the many good approaches, then fan out north and south looking for their favorite clam beds. Inland from the beach, the visitor notes that this area has been settled for a good long time. Old houses abound, this marvelous old weather-beaten church being a good example of the character of the region. The moderate climate of the Long Beach Peninsula, combined with the abundant moisture, makes this also a flower lover's paradise. Flowers grow here in profusion, caressed by gentle breezes from the blue Pacific. A wonderful place to make your home. Flowers, 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 a riot of color and design, gleaming brightly in the brilliant sunshine of the coast, glowing even more brightly against the background of verdant green lawns and trees. The coast north and south of the mouth of the Columbia River is the final resting place for over 170 ships lost by shipwreck. The skeletons of some remain to intrigue the visitor. Here, the remains of the Intrepid. Surf fishermen cast into the Pacific from the beach, many catching their daily limit of 20 pounds of fish, the most common being perch. Fresh crabs, turned bright orange after their dip in boiling water, are a special treat for the beach visitor. They may be taken, as are other seafoods along the beach, without license. Of course, swimming is great too. This is Waikiki Beach, at the land end of the North Jetty, where the waters of the Columbia and the ocean mingle, and the waves seem always to be just right. This is a favorite spot for swimmers and waders, and for those who enjoy a battle with the waves as they wash up onto the sands of this secluded cove. Cape Disappointment Lighthouse stands vigil over the swimmers and the Columbia River mouth. A Corps of Engineers dredge makes non-stop round trips constantly, keeping the channel of the mighty Columbia River, one of the world's most valuable trade routes, open to ocean-going ships. A good road allows automobile traffic out this far beside the North Jetty. The beautiful new boat basin at Ilwaco on the southern tip of the Long Beach Peninsula is the starting point for many thousands of sports and commercial fishermen when the hordes of silver and Chinook salmon gather at the mouth of the river, ready for their spawning run upstream. Hundreds of boats, from small open 16-footers up to commercial fishermen's boats and charters and luxurious yachts, find a home base here. Boats based at Ilwaco have a shorter run to the sea than those from any other port on the river. It's a short trip and a pleasant one, from the basin, past river buoys, and out to the lightship, anchored 7 miles out. The ocean at the mouth of the Columbia River provides some of the finest salmon fishing anywhere along the Pacific coast. Hundreds of thousands of salmon, silvers, and Chinooks are taken on sports gear from boats like these every season. Bottom fish are caught too, and once in a while a hungry shark is hooked to fight until he shakes the hook or is cut loose. Let's watch this pretty girl. She has a big silver hooked. It may or may not be her first salmon, but isn't she enjoying it? A little advice from an old hand at this business comes in handy. And there it is, a bright silver salmon, fresh from the cold Pacific. Some mighty good eating there. While fishermen are the most common sight out here, once in a while you will see a large sailboat, her crew enjoying the fresh breeze and the sunny skies. But the main business at hand is fishing, with much success as demonstrated here. These large fish may be taken in many ways. Some troll with plugs or other types of lures, but the most popular way is mooching, or trolling herring by letting the boat drift with the tide. Many charter boats are available to the many visitors who come to this beautiful area to fish. These boats are all manned by experienced men of the sea, well schooled in the art of finding and catching these beautiful silver and Chinook salmon. Many fishermen moor their boats at Ilwaco for the entire salmon season. All boats in the river or on this open ocean are under the watchful eye of the United States Coast Guard for any sign of danger. In addition, charter boats are equipped with ship-to-shore radio, and they look after each other. The best season runs June 1st through October 15th. And the limit here is 3 salmon. They must be over 20 inches long. The boats come in from the ocean, over the bar, past Jetty A, and round the point at Cape Disappointment, and then enter the West Channel into Baker Bay on their way back to anchorage in the boat basin at Ilwaco. During the run-in, many of the successful fishermen clean their salmon, throwing the refuse into the river. This accounts for the trailing flocks of seagulls who look at each boat with a hungry eye, waiting for dinner. Once back at the dock, the day's catch is spread out for pictures, including the unwanted shark. And the pretty girl we saw catching the fish earlier now proves for the folks back home that she was there. The mighty Pacific, again changing color under an evening sky, continues to boil and growl at the rocky southern part of the Long Beach Peninsula. Come down to the sea, to the unspoiled stretch of the sandy peninsula which divides the Pacific from Willapa Bay, the Long Beach Peninsula in the outdoor wonderland of southwestern Washington. Whether you come to fish, to take pictures, to dig clams, to view the breathtaking scenery, or just to unwind and breathe the fresh ocean air, you'll long remember your visit. For more information, write to the Long Beach Peninsula Resort Association, which invites you to come down to the sea.